So, pressing on, we have like 2 to 3 forces left. So, our next force is tension force. Tension force is pretty simple as far as how it works. Tension forces are always a force applied by a rope or cable or string or something string-like. So, the thing that's special about tension forces is that they only are pulls. If you have a string or a string-like object, if you try to push something with it, it just won't work. So you have to pull with one of these objects to be able to do that. So, and there'll always be pulls in the same direction that the string or rope or cable or whatever is attached to the object. Right? Our final force is friction. Friction is a force that always resists the motion of an object when it's sliding across a surface. There's a lot of types of friction. You can include kinetic friction, where things are actually sliding; static friction, where things are stationary and trying to slide but haven't done so yet; and even like rolling friction in wheels and axles. But all these types of frictions, they occur because objects have microscopic ridges and valleys in them. And as things try to move past each other, these surfaces try to slide, the ridges and valleys, they catch on each other. And it takes a bit of energy from the object to keep it going, and it loses a little bit to the friction. When you have an object that's stationary, what happens there is the object is allowed to settle into the ridges, and it locks in a lot better, so it takes a lot more force and energy to be able to get that out of that locked position. So that's why it's harder to get something to start moving and keep it going once it does. Right? And friction itself depends on two different factors. The first factor is how rough the surfaces are. So if you compare rubber to ice, the friction in rubber is going to be much, much higher than the friction in ice because ice is much more smooth. And the other factor that influences how strong friction is the amount of force that squeezes them together. So an object's mass, how much it weighs, has an influence, but you can also push down on an object too, and that'll also generate more friction in that object as well. One thing that doesn't make more friction is the speed with which the surfaces slide past one another. That'll often be a misconception. If you were to consider falling on macadam, so you're walking, you trip, you land on your knees and skid on macadam, it's gonna hurt. It's probably gonna like leave brush burns or scrape your knee up pretty bad. But if you change that scenario to you're riding a motorcycle and you crash it and you slide on the macadam, the person who's sliding on the macadam from the motorcycle isn't experiencing more friction. What they're doing is they're experiencing that same amount of friction force over a longer period of time. So the person who tripped and fell, they only experienced that friction force for a very brief moment, and it still tore up their knee. If you are riding a motorcycle, though, you experience it for a few seconds, and that is why you see a lot more gruesome injuries when people have an accident with a motorcycle when they're not wearing the correct kind of clothing to protect them from sliding. I'm going to stop this video here. This one wasn't very long, but I'm going to show how to draw some free body diagrams, which requires me to set up a different situation with the camera stuff. So the third video right below this one will show you how to do free body diagrams, and we'll also discuss what the assignment will be then. So if you want to scroll on down to the very last video, you should be good from there to wrap this thing up. So see you next one.